Dirt Life Show with your host, George Hamill.
Yes. What up, Dirt Life fam? We have a awesome show for you guys tonight. Baja 400 recap. We just had the Score International race down in Ensenada, Mexico. Awesome time down there. Bryce Menzies and Oren Anderson were the big winners in the trophy truck and overall. Brock Hager and Ethan Groom won in the UTV Unlimited class. Oh, excuse me. Marc Burnett and his MB Motorsports off-road team, they were the winners in the UTV Turbo class. They'll be coming on the show, as well as Bryce and Oren. And, man, there was some pretty good showstoppers out there. So we're going to talk with the Class 11 boys, Tim Slayton and Pete McLeod. We're also going to talk with one of the all-time favorites. He got so many views on his clips, James Dean. Dude, he was just sending it in the Terrible Herbs Motorsports trucks. I think Brian Moore might join us as well. He's the one getting all the bangers for everybody. But it'll be cool to talk with everybody. So before we get Bryce and Oren on, let me just run down our list of sponsors and thank yous, go through all the show stuff. You can always join us on Facebook, YouTube, and obviously Instagram Live. Check us out. Share it with your friends. You guys are our lifeblood. You guys are the ones that keep the show going. So please always just share it with everybody. Thanks to the guys at IMG Motorsports, James, John, and Harry for letting us use the shop. Really appreciate it. They've got a bunch of cool stuff going on, and there's some cool stuff coming up too. So you can always check us out on iTunes, Google, Spotify, all of those networks anytime you want, maybe when you're even on the road to the races. So check that out, and thank you very much to everybody that supports the show, the guys over at KMC Wheels. We were at the Sand Show this weekend. Super cool booth, everything that they got going on over there. Head over to your local 4 Parts or any of those dealerships and grab yourself some KMC wheels. The guys at Maxxis Tires, man, they've been a really, really huge help to the show, and we definitely want to support them. So anytime you can, man, even hit me up. Maybe I can get you guys a discount. Get some Maxxis Tires. Go down to your dealership and buy some. The guys over at Motul, providing all the great oils. Justin and all his team, Steve, Mitch, everybody over at Shock Therapy for just being badasses and getting everybody's suspension tuned up. They have all kinds of hard parts too. You can get tie rods, radius rods, the whole deal. Tell them that the Dirt Life sent you by entering the code Dirt Life at checkout and get a big old discount. Thanks to the guys at JL Audio. If you guys didn't see it, JL Audio just merged with Garmin. So that's pretty cool. They're going to probably have some cool products coming out. At the Sand Show, they had all kinds of speakers and rad stuff in not just my Pro R, but like Can-Ams, all kinds of stuff. So go ahead and check those out. Thanks to the guys at Evolution Power Sports. Thanks, Todd, for giving me this cool T-shirt, making some power. Thanks to the guys over at Zollinger Racing Products. And thanks to the guys at Vision Canopies. We got to see everybody, like I said, at the Sand Show. It was rad. But this show is going to be about the Baja 400. So we're going to wait and get Oren Anderson on and Bryce Menzies, the overall winners, and talk with them a little bit and see how the race went. We might even have a special guest today too. And she's blonde, so we'll see if how she's doing as well. So so let's get Bryce and Oren on real quick here, and we'll talk with the boys and see how their race went. And they were hauling the mail too, so it was pretty cool to see. All right, Oren, I'm accepting you now. So there we go, buddy. Oren Anderson, what's up, dude?
How's it going, buddy? Good to see you again.
Yeah, you too, dude. It was kind of crazy down there at the finish line. It was down there at the starting line, tech, all that stuff. You guys were busy, dude. Just winners all day.
Oh, man. You know, the people that, race it obviously know how chaotic it is. But there's like a million things going. You got a million things going through your head. Like just getting a hello out, is hard sometimes. So it's always good to see you down there at the start and finish and catch up for a little bit. Wish we had more time, but
yeah, totally. So there was a couple things that I wanted to ask too, because we talk about like the pace of the trophy trucks now a lot. Like we've been talking about it, dude. We probably over talked it for you guys because you guys are used to it, but to me, it seemed like, I don't want to say that it's starting to even out, but it seems like maybe the way to put it is you guys yourselves, you and Bryce, are getting more consistent at going at that top level speed, and you're getting more used to it. Is that kind of true, or like how does it feel in the truck?
I mean, it feels fast. I mean, it feels like we're going at a really quick pace all day. So Like it used to be where you'd push a little bit and then felt like you could back down and kind of run a consistent pace. But there was, a few really fast trucks out there for most of the day that were running that same like push, almost qualifying pace the whole time. I mean, we were all within 45 seconds physically apart at the end. Crazy.
Yeah, dude, totally. It was pretty wild. Bryce Menzies, what's up, dude? How are you?
What's happening, guys? Sorry, kids were running a little wild, so it took me a second to get on here.
Hashtag dad life.
Yes, it's taken over.
Yeah, how has it been since you guys both have newies?
Oh man, it's unreal. And then now to have Oren be a dad is something special. I always tell people, until you have a kid, you really don't know what it's like. So it's pretty cool to relate and have some stuff like that.
Have your guys' kids yet have a chance to meet yet, or no?
Not yet.
Dude, that's probably going to be pretty wild, right?
We were hoping to at the 400, but that didn't work out. But yeah, I can't wait, man. I mean, we already FaceTime each other back and forth. And at the 400, I was showing his daughter Carson pictures of my little girl Brantley, and she was pretty psyched about some of her toys. So hopefully we can make that happen.
That's perfect. Oh my gosh, she's got better toys than me. And then dad has to go out and get different toys. You guys got to be careful what you show them.
Just different toys, all right? No, play the better game. That gets out of hand.
Yeah, dude, totally. All right, so let's talk about the Baja 400 a little bit. Bryce, we were just talking about, like we've mentioned pace so many times, like it's the pace of the trophy truck class questions kind of getting out of hand. But I was talking to Oren a little bit, and it seems like you guys are getting more used to going that pace. And Oren was like, man, it's hard because everybody else is kind of getting used to that pace. And I noticed there was also another blue truck out there with some Red Bull logos with the number 31 on it. And it was probably tough keeping him behind you at Bay going that pace too.
Yeah, I knew with him qualifying a little bit far back that it seems like nowadays it's Luke, me, and if we don't really have a problem, it's hard to track us down. And then I know Andy being in the mix. I knew it was going to be us three fighting for the win. So it was all day long. Kind of the pace is honestly getting so fast where it seemed like a couple years ago you could push, let it calm down for a little bit, regroup, but now it's like you're pretty much kill mode almost the whole time. So unreal the pace we're running, how these guys could maintain keeping the truck on course. And that's why it seems like you have to have a guy in the right seat that you trust on and you could communicate with and do your homework, because you miss one call and you're going to be either hurt or you're going to be totally in a truck. So.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, right? And Oren, you obviously don't want that bad juju after the race either. So, like, and with that though, like, I kind of feel like the track was getting broken up a lot. I mean, I saw a bunch of stuff on social media, but didn't it feel like some of the big rocks and stuff were just all of a sudden popping up out of nowhere?
That's the hardest game, is playing chase, especially on we're pre-running daily down there. So we're coming, confident into a section. It's like, all right, remember there's a rock on the right around this corner, and you can come around and it's dead center now, or it's in the left rut. Like it changed daily where all the big rocks were.
It's kind of crazy. Does that mean that you have to just, I don't know, I feel like Bryce's eyes are just not blinking. Like, are you just wide open the whole time, just concentrating, just focus?
Yeah, it seems like lately the game has changed where people were pre-running in their pre-runners, and now it's going. People are pre-running in their second trucks, race trucks. So the course is developing so fast where if you miss a day of pre-running, you're going to be in the race, and all of a sudden that rock that was on the right is now in the left rut, or that ditch that was a checkup 1 is now a checkup 3. So it's just insane that the level of commitment that everybody's put into this sport, what we got to go do to go win these races is on a different level. And it's cool to see, but it also is tearing up the desert so much that me and Oren about halfway through, we were going, dang, man, we both have headaches from just jarring and ramming into stuff. But it's really cool to see where our sport's going, the level the competition has gotten to.
Yeah. Does that mean it changes? Well, I don't know how to even put this statement, but like, focusing is really hard no matter what happens, right? Like it's hard to focus at your computer desk, right? And then add in going 130 miles an hour or whatever it is with rocks and all of this other stuff. Like, to me, that seems like the level of focus is also really has to improve when you're having those Well, I mean, you're full kill, right? Like, Oren, how is it managing all that in the passenger seat? Because you got to manage yourself and Bryce.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm managing. Like we do, I think we do a really good job of just getting a lot of information when we're pre-running. So hopefully just giving him reminders. Hi, Carson.
Hey, Carson.
Okay, go back up there.
The superstar right there. Hey, you guys want to just let Carson talk? We'll talk about racing later.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you're right. Like, I guess it isn't because you got all that homework done, right?
Yeah. Like I don't need to help Bryce with pace or how to drive, right? He knows how to do that just fine without me. But if I can just give him information, hopefully just little reminders so he can keep his pace up. That's all I'm trying to do from my side is just take the surprise out of it. And one thing that as I've been in the right seat with a bunch of different people, and not to toot his horn, but Bryce can process stuff like on the fly way faster than I can and faster than like every guy I've raced with before. So it's like, we'll be pre-running a section at 95 miles an hour and he'll switch lane to a lane I never even saw because we're going so faster there. And it's like, how did you see this? He's like, oh, I've seen that the last 2 days through here. I just finally wanted to try it. And it's like, I can't even, we're already committed 200 feet into a new line before my brain even processes we switch. So it's a next level of vision and processing for some of these trophy truck guys that I couldn't keep up with. So I'm no help there. But if I can have a note where I can tell them, hey, in 500 feet, you liked this before, that's my only goal.
Yeah, and so that's exactly where I was going. I'm glad you were talking about that. Like, so that's kind of where I was going to lead the question back to you, Bryce. But we got a couple questions or comments and stuff that came in too. So Victor Tacoma actually said, Bryce Menzies drive with the calmness like on a freeway. He is the best, and Andy McMillan, everyone else drives desperately under pressure. Well, we actually talk about this sometimes on the Dirt Life show, like you just said, Oren, Bryce is a breed on his own, right? The way that you can process and hold yourself together really makes it like a race car driver, right? Like, so an example is I thought I was a great race car driver, right? I'm just driving a slow UTV. I drove in Lucas Off-Road Series. I won races and different things like that. I'm like, oh, cool. Like, I can drive pretty well. And then I sat in the passenger seat driving around with Rob McCachran at an event that Warfighter Made did. And I was like, dude, I'm not even barely in the novice class, dude. Like the way that he sits there with just full calm and he's barely moving and his feet are barely moving. And I can see what you're talking about when you talk about how Bryce works as well, because I don't know, Bryce, how does it feel in your head when you're being able to process information that quickly and you're able to just move so slowly?
I would say it came with time. I mean, at the very beginning, it was challenging, but after so many years, so many times. And I just feel like I'm calm in the truck and things don't really like upset me to where I freak out and start driving where my mind is. I just am very calm and process things and have a goal of getting the truck to the end, and also relying on the guy in the right seat to give me the right notes, be a therapist at times to calm me down. Seems like we work really well, and just being smooth. I think learning from a single buggy with limited power and just knowing that if you scrub any speed or if you make big movements, you're not going to go win those races in that class. So that really helped me is from starting in a limited class and then stepping up into a big class that I took all that I learned from that and put it into effect as well.
We got a comment from BJ that said, Bryce, what did he say? Bryce couldn't back out of a garage without accidentally hitting the house. At least everybody knows how to.
My wife.
Yep. Perfect. We also had somebody commented saying the after show celebration at the compound was pretty sick too. Like the motivation and the happiness was like all I could see. Like we couldn't see your face, but I could see a smile on your face the way that you come into the house. That was pretty sick.
Yeah, we won the 500, and that was the first time my dad had our pilot put the helicopter down in the compound. And then this time I knew that it was going to be there. And last time I kind of just slid the truck in, and I came in hot this time. I knew I didn't have front drive because we lost front wheel drive at the end. So I came in and knew I could do a donut, and I wanted to do 3 donuts because that was our 3rd consecutive win, the Baja 400. And I've done so many donuts and shows and little stuff with my Pro 2. So I have a very good depth perception of where the truck is. And I saw my dad and he was freaking out. But I believe I was still at least over 1.5 feet away from the helicopter. So we were clean. We were good. But to have the whole team there and then have Andy there and my family and my wife and my daughter was something special.
Yeah, dude, that's super cool. Yeah, and the space and time thing, like that goes back to what we were talking about, Oren. Like he just knows, right? Like that has to grow with experience and stuff. Hey guys, so we have a special guest on. So Bella Burchard, she has been helping with the Dirt Life. How are you, Bella?
I'm great. How are you?
So we're doing awesome. So Oren and Bryce, if you guys don't know, Bella now has her own segment of the Dirt Life show, and she's talking to the youth and stuff like that. She does it once a month, and so she's kind of practicing and getting all her things together, and she wanted to jump on and ask you guys a question.
Awesome. Hi, Bella.
Hi.
Hi, Bella. That's amazing that you're doing this, and it's so cool to bring the youth into it and help them come up, and they need just as much show as we do.
Yep.
Yeah, because that's where we all started. But first of all, congratulations to both of you guys, because that's crazy. Very proud. Yeah. So throughout those 400 miles, what was the biggest obstacle you guys overcame?
I would say for me was probably losing front drive and knowing that Luke was only about a minute behind me, and knowing that if I got a flat tire or some little issue and Luke got by, that it would be very hard to keep him within those 2 minutes. So processing that in my mind and just trying to be smart and not make any mistakes the last 200 miles was probably the biggest obstacle I had to overcome in the race.
Yeah. That's it. How do you even deal with that stress? Like just knowing that someone's right behind you, chasing on you?
Probably just over years of usually I've freaked out, and I've learned that just trying to stay calm, and then also having a guy next to you that you feel really confident in, knowing the truck and what it could do in a two-wheel drive that I've raced so many times, and just trying to be smart, think big picture instead of trying to win the race every mile. Look at the long term of trying to get the truck to the finish, and I think just 16 years of racing has helped me process all that.
Yeah, that's my full lifetime, 16 years.
Yeah.
But Bella, like Oren, the calmness, I think, is what is the main thing that Bella should be looking for, right? Is trying to stay focused and calm in the vehicle.
Oh, yeah. Getting excited or getting upset, that doesn't help anything out at all, right? You're just going backwards at that point. And that's something, if you have somebody that you trust sitting next to you, like Bryce and I kind of feed off each other. So there's times where I hope I'm helping keep him calm, but he helps keep me calm too. And we just kind of get on the same page, like, oh, no big deal. Like that's 45 seconds. They gotta make that up. We're still going fast, and talk each other off the ledge to where you just keep making smart race decisions and not doing anything silly that puts you on the sideline.
Yeah, just desert mentality, regulating emotions.
Oh yeah, let him out. Let him out at the end, not during the race.
Yeah, I agree.
That's pretty cool, Bella. So you're learning as you are hosting the show. That's pretty sweet, man.
Yeah, I know. Just taking advice from big dogs.
There you go.
It's funny hearing you say that I've been racing as long as you've been old, because I felt the same way when I was racing with Rob McCacker, and he was telling me how long he's been racing, and I just was in my first or second year. So it's been full circle, and now I'm that older guy that's saying the same things.
Yeah. And I eventually hope to get there too. I know like all this stuff, me doing George and like interviewing people, that's going to get me places. But I want to be that for somebody that's younger, and especially like bring in all the youth, because that's where, we all kind of started. So.
That's so awesome of you. I really appreciate you putting in all the effort and the work, because the youth is where it is at, and we got to keep them coming to keep this sport alive.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, Bella, tell Bryce and Oren what you got going on and what's going on with your next show.
So we got some people coming on. It's October 11th, so it'll be every Wednesday, the first Wednesday of every month. But we're just interviewing a bunch of like new people, new faces, old faces, kind of just talking about where everybody started and where everyone's, 5-year plan is and all that stuff.
It'll be cool. Thanks, Bella. We'll see you guys later. Tell everybody in your family hi.
Hi, guys. Bye.
See you
Good
later.
luck.
Nice to meet you.
Bye,
You too.
Bella.
Bye.
Yeah, thank you guys for answering all her questions. It's really cool to see like the youth and the progress and stuff. Like, do you get to feel that same I don't know, vibe and stuff when you're down there in Baja? Because last show that we talked about when you won the Baja 500, we talked about how everybody was so excited at the finish line, right? You got squirted with the beer and all this crazy cool stuff. Do you get to see the other portion of it where you're seeing people that look up to you, people that are wanting to be a sponge and, you know, get information from you guys as well so they can be fantastic professional racers?
I would say, yeah, of course, I get a ton of stuff, whether it's just Instagram messages or people running up to me and talking to me. And I always try to put in the time and work to talk to them, write them back, just because I was that kid once. I was a kid that came into the sport, had no idea what I was doing. Me and my dad showed up to the first race with a truck and a trailer, and I never raced an off-road car in my life. So I was one of those kids asking those same questions, and the people that helped me and taught me is the way that I want to be. I want to make sure that I give the same or more back to the sport and to the youth, because I truly believe in that if we keep answering the questions, making the right decisions for these kids, that it's just going to get better and better as it goes.
Yeah, totally. And then like with all the technologies coming out and, you know, live streaming and all of these different things that are happening, I feel like they can see it. And then once you say it, they'll have a visual connection to it. So there's a lot that goes on behind all that. So I'm pumped for the future of off-road for sure. So let's talk about the race a little bit, because we got about 5 minutes before we get Marc Burnett on. He was the Pro Turbo UTV winner. Oren, what was some of the stuff that you had to focus on the most? I mean, obviously, Bryce said that you guys lost front-wheel drive. What were the things that you were busy with during the race?
So early on, it was just dealing with like the course was super dry. Everyone had been pre-running so much. There's a lot of dust. So early on, it was just making sure that I got all the notes out that we had, just like didn't miss anything on my calls and focus on that, because we were driving blind for a lot of the time. And then there was a fun section at about before we got into Valley T, like come down the goat trail. We knew we were close to a few guys physically right in front of us. And we knew a lot of people had some pits set up before the Mike Sky Ranch loop. So it started, it was fun, like going, well, hey, we can play some pit strategy right here. Normally in the front, running with Bryce, like we just run our pit strategy. You hope we have enough gap to get out in front of the guys behind us. But now it's like, if we stop here and not over here, maybe we can get somebody in the pit. So as managing that, what we thought the competitor's next move was going to be, and then trying to base it off what we could see them doing on the pavement section, the speed zone ahead of us. Like that was fun. I enjoyed that. And then, it's just regular race stuff, trying to call out notes and make sure there's nothing that we didn't, anything that changed the night before the race, or animals and stuff like that. And then just being, supportive of Bryce when the front diff did go away. I mean, it's like from the passenger seat, it feels like he's trying to drive with something dragging the front brakes.
Yeah.
So when he's in and sets up for a corner and lays into the throttle, it doesn't just drive around. It feels like that the rear end's trying to pass you the whole time. So, me trying to be supportive, side chick going, you got it. It's all good.
It probably did feel kind of crazy. Like you almost probably needed the support, right, Bryce, to like twist your brain into actually dealing with it.
Yeah, 100%. When we first, I felt it going a little bit earlier, and I just didn't want to put it in my head. I didn't want to think that. And then we finally got Luke after the crossover, and we were first on the road. And literally right when we jumped off the pavement, I stood on the gas, and the rear came around, and I'm like, that was the first time I said it. I was like, I think we lost front drive. And Oren's like, no, dude, this is just really slippery right here. And I'm like, no, I've felt this before. So just knowing that and just trying to play it smart, and we've had that happen before. So like you said, you got to both work together and bounce it back and forth. But yeah, that was an interesting one for sure.
Dude, yeah, it's kind of crazy. Hey, real quick, so we have a couple questions that came in. The first one was MadFab Motorsports says, how far from the finish did you guys lose the front drive?
So we lost it right at the end of the crossover road. So I want to say that is, what is that, Oren?
210, 215.
Yeah, it's right in the middle.
230, I think, is when you hit the pavement. So like 240, something like that. When we jumped back on the dirt is where we noticed it went away.
Yeah, so it was about 60%. So you had basically half the race that you had to drive there. That's actually pretty impressive that you're talking about that now. When you said, you were trying to manage having the guys behind you, that was probably pretty difficult because I used to always have a hard time going from 250 to 125 when we were racing dirt bikes, right? That's the same type of thing, right? Because you're used to having all of this action and the driving style, and then all your muscle memory goes away and you have to completely drive different. The good thing that you're lucky to doing two-wheel drive stuff and short course stuff because you can adjust on the fly.
Yeah, it was huge just knowing that. And I think that really helped out a ton. Is just I had to upshift a ton and put it in third and fourth gear where I would be in first gear in corners and just let the motor do the work and not burn the tires off because we were going to run tires long. So a ton of different stuff that over the years I've just learned how to handle it, what to do, not try to slide the truck in, drive in hard, off easy. A lot of little things that I think really helped us out with. And then also just the pressure, man, knowing that Luke was, I want to say at times he got down to like 40 seconds and Alan was only 40 seconds behind him. So knowing they were there for 180 miles was very tough, but we pulled it off.
Dude, yeah, that's crazy. Just One Baja also asks, is Andy McMillan racing with Bryce out in the Baja 1000?
Yes, for sure. We've been trying to do that for the last 3 years. I've been trying to do that for 13 years to win the Baja 1000. So me and Andy are going to team up again. And that's why we race two trucks just for a starting spot, because if you don't start near the front, it's going to be very hard to win one of these races from a peninsula run. So Andy will be jumping in the truck for sure.
Actually, this is a good technical question, and I don't know if you'll be able to answer this, Oren, but Simon Trophy said, why did Toby have to pull out of the race with a broken front diff, but Bryce could keep going? I think it's a little bit different situation, but can you give any expertise on that?
Yeah, different parts failed on the end. He had something more catastrophic, like the actual like gears inside fail, whereas we had something a little bit smaller fail that just lost the drivability. So it wasn't like fluid wasn't leaking out. We've had that happen before where we drained all the oil out of a front diff. That does park you no matter what. But yeah, we just got lucky. It was a minor. What the issue was minor versus his seemed to be a little more catastrophic.
Yeah, it still amazes me that the trucks can actually put up with what they do. Like, I mean, even though I know that they're growing and they're getting better and better, but like, holy cow, the amount of abuse that they take and they can hold up is just mind blowing.
Oh yeah.
We're going so fast nowadays that I don't know how these trucks hold up, especially for a short race where it's 400 miles. I mean, we're going kill mode the whole way where, we were going through sections and Oren's like, man, we're running qualifying pace right now.
Yeah.
So it's crazy that these trucks even handle that.
Do you guys remember, like, Oren, do you even know what the top speed you guys got up to in the race was, or any of the, I don't know, because it just seems so fast.
Yeah, like 130s was top speed, but I'd say like our overall pace is just so fast. Like we're boogieing through the Mike's loop, like, just Bryce is working the wheel over there. I mean, just sawing through all the tight technical stuff, I think is where we really picked up a lot of time because everyone's trying to push hard and make up time through those sections. And like, just overall, it just seemed like everywhere, like we just had to, like, I had to be on all day. It wasn't like notes were rolling down slowly. It was like, go, next note, go, bam, next thing. It was just crazy.
Were both your guys' brains, Oren, you answer first since you just talked about it, were both your guys' brains pretty fried at the end?
I like through Europan is the most stressful section of the race. So like I that's like high stress. You finish all this fun coast stuff, then you hit Europan, and then like just getting through that, after getting through that with no issues is like, oh my God, it's like pretty much feels like you're finished with the race. It's like just survive that part. But yeah, like it takes so much focus for 8 hours to keep up with the pace Bryce is driving. He's nuts.
Was your brain fried at the end, Bryce, or were you doing okay?
No, it was pretty fried. I mean, I tried to drink and eat as much as I could, but then I got a massive headache, and that was really bugging me. But like Oren said, the pace that we're running, like if you take your mind off the ball for 1 second, you're crashing, you're hurting each other. So you got to be focused 110% the whole time nowadays.
Yeah, dude, totally. All right, so Travis Coyne also had a great comment that he said 169 miles per hour all day, dude. All right, boys. Well, thank you very much. We'll throw a shout out to some of the people that helped you. Obviously, I know you guys want to shout out to your family as well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously my team, they prepped 2 trucks. This is the first time that we ran 2 trucks, and we had both of them finish first and third. So my team, all my guys at the shop, obviously Oren for putting in all the work. We were down there for over a week, pre-running every single day, waking up early, getting in late. Our bodies were sore. And then obviously all my partners that helped me out. Red Bull's been with me for 13 years. AMSOIL, Toyota Tires has hugely stepped up their game to get only 1 flat on the run. And then Andy had 0 flats. Fox Shocks, just everybody that helps me out. I couldn't do without them. And obviously my family for coming down. That's what keeps me motivated to get to the finish. Seeing my daughter cheer me on is something very special.
Dude, that's the best, right? All right, Oren, you take the floor.
Same deal. I mean, the effort that the Menzies Motorsport team, all the shop guys have put in this year, I mean, 0 major issues with any truck at all. I mean, pre-runners have been flawless. Race trucks have always been flawless, and to do that too this time, like, people don't understand how much work that is to make an all-wheel drive truck, which is already insanely complicated, issue free for hundreds upon hundreds of miles every time we take them out, driving at qualifying pace. So really, I mean, my hat's off to those guys. They're kicking butt and probably the best crew, I think, out there, and it's an honor to be a part of that. And then it's great to, I didn't have my family down there with me this time. I always love having my wife Carrie down there, but her father Jim passed away a couple weeks before this one. So to do this race and really to do it as a tribute and to honor him and go out and get to have awesome results and kick butt and bring home a win for him, it was very meaningful for me and everyone back here.
Yeah, our condolences and everything like that. But we really appreciate you guys being such humble and awesome human beings. So we'll let you guys get back to the family, and thank you guys very much.
Thanks for having me.
Congratulations, boys. All right, so we're going to get Marc Burnett of MB Motorsports on. He was the Pro UTV winner. Congratulations to Bryce and Oren for doing such a fantastic job on course as well as off course, and just being good human beings in general. It's always good to see. We love the off-road community so much. So let's try and see if we can get Marc Burnett. Hey, Marc Burnett, what's up, dude?
How are you?
Doing awesome, bro. How are you?
Good. Driving in traffic down here in San Diego, California right now.
Yeah, that's the way it goes, dude. When you're a winner, though, the traffic doesn't stop for you.
I don't know about that, but okay.
Dude, it was pretty cool to see you on the top step of the podium, though. I didn't get to talk to you much. I wanted to have tacos with you and everything, but, dude, you put in a lot of work to get to that point. You've been racing for a long time, and it probably felt really good.
Well, it felt awesome. My team, just, really worked hard. We had, some issues in the race, but overall, we brought home the win. We knew our game plan. The car's coming together. The new car we have is finally coming together. We have some important parts on the car now that are just amazing. Made the world of difference for my axles and stuff like that. So to go to Vegas to Reno, we knew when we went to Vegas to Reno, we had no issues. I gave the car to my partner, and we knew I was all smiles. From there, I knew it was my first time not replacing any belts, no axle problems. I knew when I was coming down to the Baja 400 that it would come out well at the end of the day.
It's just we were just talking about it with Oren and Bryce. Like, the amount of effort that goes into just getting a vehicle across the finish line is pretty phenomenal, right? And you have a good team with you, and you be able to support your own things. But everybody has their issues, and you've had a couple this year, and now you come across the finish line first. That means, like, I don't know. It's got to feel like, a victory in itself just across the finish line, let alone win.
It was like an emotional thing. We could lead the race, a lot this last year and this year, but we could never finish, and be on the top of the box or not having issues. So to have that, to make it to the finish line, we did have an issue. At 190, we had an issue with the transmission, and we were just praying that we make it to the finish. So we were really excited about, making it there and the results. I was full of emotions. With things that's happened in my life the last 3 years, it's just been really rough, and we knew we could do it. And I know I have the team that can do it, and this thing is dedicated to those guys. The team, has been, with me so long, and they deserve this more than me. I mean, they're there all the time. not seeing us win or have a problem with the car, and it's frustrating. They get bummed out, and to get this win, I think all those guys are just a big black cloud just went by us, and we're really happy, and we learned a lot. So I think at the 1,000 we're ready. I think that there's a couple other things we got to do to the car, but we know we have the speed. We didn't have everything in line to make it work. So right now, that's what we're doing. We're looking forward to the 1,000 and just trying to focus on the win. I've never won on a UTV. I've never won the Baja 1000. I've won it on a bike and a truck, but I've never done it in a UTV. So it's something that haunted me for a while, and I would love to go down there and win. And it's going to be a lot of mileage. It's going to be. I just saw the course. We mark the course and we do stuff with score, and the course, is going to be 1,308 miles.
Holy crap! Really?
Yes. Yep. A lot of people don't know that. Bryce is probably going, "What?"
Dude,
yeah, it's a lot of mileage. And I was going to ask him, what happens if the front diff blows on that thing at, that many miles? Do you have to replace it? Do you just keep driving on it or what? I was wondering the same thing. Those things are worth over $1 million, so that's a question of the day, what happens there. So
yeah, I got you. Well, that brings in, like, if it's 1,300 miles, that brings in a whole nother, I want to talk about the 400 real quick too, but the, like, a whole nother logistical thing, because parts expire, especially in desert racing, right? So whether it's a radius rod or a front differential in a Can-Am or a trophy truck, like, there's a logistical thing that's going to probably happen and change with the Baja 1000 because it's such a long race.
Oh, yes, it is. I think there's going to be pitting strategies. We're going through San Felipe. The people that know San Felipe, the people out there know it, are going to be ahead of the people that don't know it. There's a lot of lines there and a lot of stuff that, and that's at the end of the race. I mean, you're looking at 250 miles from the finish, pretty much from there. So it's going to be a challenge to see, things are going to change. If somebody's leading the race, it could change. And it's definitely going to be changing there for sure.
Yeah, even if you're at 1,200 miles and you're smoked, you could still have the opportunity to lose that bad boy. Todd Zacone keeps commenting in a couple times. He said, you need to have some strong trannies.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to keep that to myself right now.
Oh, that's a funny one, though. Everybody keeps laughing in the comments. I know you're paying attention to traffic. But so during the 400, Bella Burchard just came on, and she asked the question to the boys, Bryce and Oren, what was the most difficult portion of the race? Can you answer that same question?
I'm going to tell you that's really easy for me, and I've done this many, many times. It was European. European was the most stressful thing I could think of. It was really bad. The terrain was really up and bad, and definitely something that was the worst I've seen in a long time. I marked the courses, like I said, and I've seen everything, and that by far is the worst I've ever seen it. The 4-wheel drive trucks and all these trucks, they have beat that stuff up so bad.
Yeah.
So many people running now, and people out there know. I mean, look at Herbst, where it was silt over there. He went off the side. He got towed out, rolled the truck. I mean, it was dramatic. It was bad. And we knew that going into this race that it would be bad there. And we were just trying to, get through that section. And it was brutal. And we made it through it. I was very happy that we made it through it. But that was definitely the section. European was the hardest of the course. Everything else, I think, for me, it was easy. It wasn't really hard.
Totally. So driving a UTV, we have tons of people that listen to the show in UTVs. Some are just enthusiasts too. They're not racers. It's hard for me to even explain because I've pre-run all kinds of miles down there. But can you give the best description to, let's just say me, I'm going into a UTV dealership and I'm going to buy my first UTV. And I say I want to go down to Baja. And I say, what's the difficult portion of the race? And you say European. Can you describe to me the gnarliness and how it feels driving a UTV down there to a beginner like somebody like me?
Yeah, I mean, in that section, if you had to go through it after we went through it or after pre-running, I mean, the track changed so much from the day, and I'm talking Friday, to Saturday of the race. I mean, it's crazy. And this silt, you just got to watch yourself, take your time through the rain ruts and be okay going through everything. And that's the biggest thing. And keeping a spare tire with you and plugs and just being prepared. When you're in Baja, you got to be prepared for everything. You never know what you're going to see down there or happen. I'm sure you can relate to that. I'm sure you had a tire or something go bad.
Yep.
And especially if you're by yourself, you want to bring food, water, and I mean, even matches. I mean, we've been out there before. We had to spend the night in the middle of nowhere, So when you're buying a car, just take your time and don't think you're, Bryce Menzies going through the section. You know what I mean? I think that's, taking your time through there. I mean, it's just like the trophy trucks tow over herbs. I mean, you saw it. You helped them out. They're probably they went on the edge and it just dropped into that little section right there. And it happens. It happens to the best of us. And they were probably pushing. And that section, you gotta kind of take your time through there to just navigate through that silt bed and just go from there. So
it's kind
that's the biggest thing.
It's kind of crazy to think, right? What's up, Stoked to Shred? When you because they didn't do anything wrong, right? Like they were just doing their thing, and and that happens to all kinds of racers, right? Like let's just say, I don't know, 60 out of 100 racers, you're just doing your thing, and then Baja wins at some point, right? So it's kind of crazy, and I like the fact that you're telling everybody to. I don't know how to say it, like mind the gap, right? Like be careful, tread lightly, like be methodical at what you're doing. How do you do that as a race car driver, though? Because you have to have that same mindset, but you have to have it 200 feet, 300 feet ahead of you, and your navigator has to have it a mile ahead.
Well, that's for sure. I have great navigators. The two guys that are with me, they know what they expect of me, and I expect of them. They tell me what's coming up before I even know sometimes, and you just got to navigate. When you know that section's bad, you just got to let off a little bit and get through it. We were thinking for us, because we're on UTVs, that there would be trucks there. The only truck I did see was Terrible Herbst, and it was on the side, and it was before he got towed out. He was already on the edge, and he was stuck there, and he just got, all it took was his tire just slid over that little edge, and he got stuck. It was an easy thing to do. It wasn't his fault, and it happens. And because the ruts will sometimes get you to slide off and move off the side, and then you're screwed. Even in the four-wheel drive vehicle that we're in, UTV, it goes everywhere, but sometimes there's holes and things that push you off to that edge,
Yeah, dude, it's kind of crazy, right? Like just to think about that. What was the gnarliest portion of the race? Like, I don't know, mentally, was it still European?
Yeah, I mean, mentally.
Well, because the mental game, the mental game's always been hard for me, like, because you have to stay focused for so long. Like I asked the boys, Oren and Bryce, like, were their brains smoked at the end? You were in the car for longer than they were, obviously, because the pace is slower in a smaller vehicle. But, I mean, I still don't know how you guys do it, how you stay focused for that long.
It's not that bad. When you have an issue, that's when things go bad. I mean, at 190, we were about to call it quits. We stopped, talked for like 10 minutes, and we were on the side of the course. Are we going to go down this hole? And, where we had to go down about 200 or whatever it was down this area, we were worried that if we did break there, we would have to get towed out for one, but there's only one little single line. So they'd be pushing us off the cliff and, get out of the way. They don't mess around. You know what I mean? They don't, the trophy trucks and stuff, in spec trucks, they'll push you right off the edge in the way of the things, in the way of the course. So I was thinking, oh God, we're going to go down here. If we have an issue, and I was just praying to get through there. So I was mentally drained after 190, thinking that I'm going to lose this race, leading the race because of an issue. And it made it. So I'm just so happy that it made it. But that's when, for me, but keeping focused, if you don't have problems, it's not that bad. You know what I mean? I've Ironman the Baja 1000 numerous times to the point, and that is definitely draining. That's a lot of miles, and you're in the car over 30 something hours. So it's really hard, especially when you're old.
Dude.
So it's hard,
I could only imagine. Like, what do you do to? This is actually will help me and a lot of people that listen to the show. But what do you do to get over that? Like, so you're at 190 and you're like, oh, whatever, we're gonna call it quits. F this, my brain's fried. And then what do? Just take a deep breath, shake it off, and then just get back on the race course?
Exactly what I did. I basically took a deep breath and held it pretty much all the way to the finish, just to cross fingers to get it to the finish line. So, I felt like I was in Vegas to Reno when I was qualifying for the race, and this happened in the situation. So I was pretty stressed out. I was pretty bummed out, but at the end it worked out, and we're looking ahead, so you just kind of breathe, just deal with it. It's Baja racing. It happens. I've been racing Baja for a long, long time down there. So I know, there's goods and bads, and you just got to go with it and roll the dice sometimes.
Dude, I give you such mad props for doing that. Like, you're making it sound like it's pretty easy to do, but I know that there's a lot that goes behind all that stuff, and just in your head. Like, so you have to beat those demons before you even get behind the wheel again.
For sure. I was telling my co-driver was talking to me at the end, and I told him, he's talking about the transmission, he's talking about this, and I'm like, hey, shut the hell up. We got only 5 more miles, 10 more miles. Don't open your mouth. And I was he was laughing at me, and I go, don't even say a word. I just want to get to the finish. Then you can talk to me. I'm not going to say a word until I get to the finish. And we were just counting down the miles, just hoping that we made it there, without any issues.
Yeah, that's right. Like, sometimes it just takes that clear mind and just laser focus on what the job is at hand.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. And like I said, we made it, and like I said, we were just happy to, be there and finally pull something off. We've led the races before, but we've always had an issue. And I think with the new car, and we got the new car blues worked out, I think we're going to be a threat for the 1,000. And I know the course really well, and I really that we'll be there at the end of the day, hopefully.
Yeah, well, you're always a threat when you're on course, dude, so give yourself a little bit more credit than that. But anyways, we got to get the Class 11 guys on. Last question for you. What was the best tacos you had when you were down there?
Dude, I'm telling you, it's Phoenix. The Phoenix fish tacos, I need to have you come down there to go have those. Phoenix fish taco place, that's the best place out there for sure. Have you been there?
Not yet.
Okay, well, I'm going to take you this time. We're going to come down there. And I need to talk to you about also the Starlink. It was my favorite thing of the time using it down there. So I need to talk to you about all that stuff down the road here.
Yeah, thank you very much for mentioning that. Yeah, we can get together. So what Marc's talking about is some live broadcasting stuff. We have some kits and stuff that we can put on the cars just to get an eye on it. And you know what's cool about it is we figured out that it's really, really good for logistics and your whole team and for safety too. So it's not just marketing. There's a lot of other stuff that it benefits. So we're pumped, dude. Yeah,
and you're the master at it. All I've been hearing and everybody's telling me, you're the master at it stuff. So you need to contact that guy right there because he's doing and he knows how to do it. So, because I'm dumber than rocks when it comes to computer stuff, and you're lucky I'm even on the stupid Instagram right now. Let me tell you.
Dude, you figured it out. We're just going to call you tech support from now on.
Yes, you're it.
All right, Marc. Hey, thanks for the compliments, and really congratulations to you and your whole team, dude. That was awesome to see you on the podium.
And I'd like to thank all of my sponsors out there, Monster, Can-Am, Quantum Racing, Bernie Gomez, they help me out a lot. Sandcraft, Gates Belts, KWI clutches, Allsap suspension. I mean, everybody out there, it's been helping me, throughout the year. They stuck by us, and I couldn't do it without all the guys and my team. My team's the guys that are always there for me, and I couldn't do it without those guys for sure. Teamwork makes the dream work, dude. Yeah, you got a great team. All right, bud. Have a safe drive home. Thanks, buddy. Bye-bye. Later. All right, so we're going to get some of the Class 11 boys on here real quick. Pete McLeod, and I think we got a special guest that's going to join us because I don't know if Tim Sletton is going to be able to come on and hang out with us. I think he's got something else going on. Pete McLeod, what's up, dude?
What's going on, bro? How are you? Good,
dude. How are you? So, Tim's not going to be able to join us?
I'm not sure. I don't think so. I think Clyde's going to jump on. I think Tim's a little tied up.
We got to tag Clyde in. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
All right. So hopefully, does Clyde know how to get on here?
I think so. I think he's watching. I think I sent you the Instagram link. But,
Okay. All right. So let me see. Let me see if we can get him on here. I'll probably have to add him just in case. I don't know if you sent him the text message on how we can get on, but how was the week for you guys, dude?
It was good, man. We started early, got our pre-running done quite a bit ahead of time, and then really just took time to make sure that the car was dialed in and got ready for the race on Saturday. So lots of pre-running, homework, and ready to go.
All right, there we go. What's up, dude? You got it on Instagram now?
Yeah, we're live. So.
We live. All right.
Who does logistics better than that guy?
Really? All right. So give us a little bit of background on him.
Clyde?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Clyde's been around racing for quite a while. I mean, he'd tell you a little more about that. But as far as our program, Clyde's the one who's putting together the pit books. He's letting us know where we're going to pit. Pit A's here, pit B's here, pit B's here, pit C's here. If you're not here by this time, here's where you're going. We've got all the razor logistics. I mean, there's just no one does it better than Clyde. And he's a huge part of the reason that we've had success down in Mexico, and we couldn't do it without him. I mean, there's no question about that.
Yeah, dude. Well, logistics is gnarly, right? But hey, so Clyde, real quick, how is it working with? Have you dealt with like trophy truck teams and other teams, or just Class 11 stuff?
I did. Yeah, I ran. I worked with Alex for all the years that we ran that spec truck.
Yep.
With GHA Racing. So we were pretty successful with that. I mean, we got second, and I think it was 2015 in the Best in the Desert Championship. We won Parker. We won quite a few races in Best in the Desert. We got third at the Peninsula Run in 17. So having that kind of background and understanding the pace and all that kind of stuff, so I kind of just brought that over to Class 11, and it's working out pretty good.
Yeah, well, it's working out pretty good, obviously. I mean, Pete and Tim were stoked on it, but there's a huge difference, though. And that's kind of where I was going with that, leading that question was, it's wild to be Class 11 compared to a trophy truck. I don't even know how you would switch the logistics because it's completely different, right?
So it's a lot harder. Believe it or not, it is a lot harder. The trophy truck, the spec truck stuff, it's a lot more fast paced, and with that kind of stuff. And I mean, the trophy truck guys will tell you, if you got to work on the car, your podium days are over.
Yep.
Right. You're pretty much, I mean, yeah, you can go for the finish, but you can maybe get one or two flats during the race, but if the thing comes in and you got to do a 5 or 10 minute pit, it's over. Right. I mean, you're not going to win. And a lot of times when the truck comes in, I mean, maybe you put tires on it, you put some gas on it, and they're out of there. So with these things, and I learned it from Tim, he's got a valid point that with these bugs, it's much easier to work on it in the pit than it is in the desert.
Dude, totally.
So every time it comes through, we what they say, fast is slow or slow is fast, but we kind of we have a thorough pit every time to make sure that we're not dealing with the stuff in the desert and nobody's stranded out there.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Well, and you have to pit more often. You have to make sure that, that's kind of crazy to even think about. All right, Pete, so give us a little bit of a rundown of how the race went.
The race went good, actually. This is probably one of the better races we've had as far as not having any downtime. We started out, me and Eric started the race. We were jamming, and Flamate was just barely out in front of us. We stayed with him pretty well. The big issue we had really all race was a broken clutch cable. Outside of that was just fighting to get around cars and vehicles and flip vehicles and all kinds of other stuff. And but smooth, I'd say, for the most part. The race went pretty flawless for us, to be honest. But
do you think the pace is getting faster?
Oh, it's definitely getting faster. Class 11's like going like this. I mean, it's nuts where this has gone.
Dude,
it's forcing everybody to build new cars, lighter, faster, carbon fibers coming in the mixers and deck lids and hoods and disc brakes. And it's just insane where this has gone. But, I mean,
what piece?
I don't rival. power plant. We had issues with power all day. We could 5-degree angle and go again and just power right up it. We just have zero issues with Tim's motor. But outside of that, it was a good race. Just a tough one for us. But obviously, we'd like to get first.
Yeah, dude, totally. Hey, whoever's got the dog, we got to see if we can calm him down because we can't. It keeps making the audio cut out. Hey, what pieces are carbon fiber, dude? That's gnarly.
Yes, or you're allowed to have fenders, deck lid, and hood fiberglass. So essentially, it's basically fiberglass pieces, but it's got the carbon fiber look to it. But yeah, you're allowed to go lightweight on the fenders and the hood and the deck lid.
Dude, Class 11's getting bougie over there, don't you think, Clyde? Dang.
Yeah. It's the pace has really come along. It's pretty wild. And I got to bring up that I was listening to the guys talking about the. I'm gonna kill my dogs, by the way, after this. But listening to Bryce and the UTV guy talking about the course
Marc, yeah.
and how it had deteriorated. Oh my God, dude! Try doing that in a Class 11.
So that's
these guys are talking about the course was rough. Man, I pre-ran it the weekend before, and I mean it was unrecognizable. I mean those big silt beds down by Colonet. I mean I was passing these trucks and stuff that were just buried to the doors. It was pretty tough. But like Pete said, interestingly enough, we made it through all of it with no issues. Didn't get stuck, motored up, all that stuff. Didn't get stuck in the silt beds or anything, which is it sucks when you get stuck in that stuff and you're trying to figure out how you're going to get out of it. But it was reassuring to get through it without any trouble.
Was it just a creative line choice or was it planning preparation? Like, because a lot of times if you just see that and you don't already have a plan, you're fucked, right? Like you fall into it or whatever. So what was the reason that you guys had success with it?
So one of my alternate lines was blocked with some caution tape. So I couldn't go that way. So I had to take the shit line. Another one, it wasn't, I mean, it was fine when we pre-ran, and then we came through and it was just silt, and you just point it and pray. And
yeah,
I mean, check this out. The 2-track was so deep that the car was riding on the door and gonna flip over.
Really?
Oh, it's
yeah. Pete, am I right?
Oh yeah. No, it's crazy that you do so much homework and then you get out there and the course is wildly different by the time you get to it that you're just like, we might as well have not even pre-ran sometimes.
Yeah.
Of course, so chewed and so tore up from all the all-wheel drives, and it's just wild. By the time you get there in a Class 11, it's just, you never know what's going to happen. You always have a game plan, but the game plan always goes out the window, to be honest.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. And dude, I saw some, I didn't see it on course because I wasn't out there, but on Instagram, some massive rocks. I mean, dude, a motor size rocks, right? Like a LS block size rocks in the middle of the goat trail.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was Pete.
I came down that with Eric, and we had to pick our way through there. And every time when you're looking at it and you're pre-run or whatever, you're just like, there's no way we're getting through this, dude. But somehow we always find a way, and we always pick our way through. And that little bug is so much more capable than anybody thinks it's capable of. That thing, it's the little engine, good, you know what I mean? It just keeps going. It's just something, I don't know. We always find a way through. So yeah, there was a lot of big blocks, but we managed to find our way around everything,
Dude, we've talked about this a bunch of times, and I'm sure you guys remember, but the amount of admiration and I don't know what you want to call it, just cool factor that you guys have when you get those things across the finish line, it blows me away. I can only imagine what the fans think when they're down there. Like when you got to the finish line, were people just hooting and hollering the whole time?
Oh yeah, always. Yeah, that's definitely a fan favorite. It's we always talk about it. I mean, it's trophy trucks and it's Class 11s, and that's the two coolest classes off road right now. And it's super fun to race Class 11. It's fun to be a part of a big company like Baja Vida that we're getting after it this year, and it's been really good so far. And
Clyde,
yeah,
that's when you're supposed to lean in with your hat on the phone, dude. Boom.
I think I got some Baja jerky right here. As a matter of fact, I might chew on
There
that.
you go, dude. Just yeah. Oh yeah, Pete's got it on his shirt too. Just start chomping on it, dude. You're good.
But yeah, it is. When you talk about the fans, it is pretty cool. Like in 21, I finished the Baja 500, and it was like, I mean, we were coming back through Ojos at like 5, 6 a.m. and people hear a bug coming, and I mean, they're crawling out of their tents at 5, 6 a.m. Like, what the hell's that noise? And they come out and they're cheering you on. And I mean, when you're literally suffering in these bugs, because let's make no bones about it. It is not always a comfortable ride. And so when you're kind of putting yourself through that, and then, the fans are cheering you on, it kind of makes a lot of it worth it.
Yeah, dude, totally. I can only imagine. Yeah, because I see all you guys, and obviously, like, I've never been able to sit in a class 1 before, or class 11 before, which I'd like to one of these days. So maybe when you guys are out testing, I could come.
Let's go.
Yeah,
it would be pretty cool. What do you guys have planned next? Actually,
Baja 1000.
Oh, that's going to be Did you hear what Marc said about the course?
I did.
1,308 miles.
What's the longest?
We did the one in 21.
How long was that one?
12:21, I think. 12:20 something.
Yeah, about 12:25 or so.
Dude, another 100 miles. And it's at the end. That's gonna be freaking brutal, dude. Holy shit!
If we could come around San Felipe and not have to do Urapan, believe it or not, in the Class 11 car, that's going to be way better. I know it sounds crazy to want to go through San Felipe whoops, but that's actually more doable than Urapan. Urapan was tough.
Yeah, probably less hard on the vehicles too.
Yeah, those ruts and stuff like that. It's just crazy.
Yeah, because you're dragging belly all the way through there, aren't you?
Yep, a lot of it. Yeah.
Dude, that's great. What about like riding on I always call it the crown molding, but like you're riding on the edge and riding on the side of the tire. Like, can you guys do some of that stuff or not in the silt like that?
The silt, the track is so wide that it just sucks you into one or the other.
Yeah, so you just hold on and just hope for the best.
Yeah, you're just kind of doing a grind, right, Pete? And you can't get out of the line even if you tried. You just got to pin it and go for it.
Dude, that's so wild. The closest I would love to be able to experience that. The closest I've ever come to that is using my dad's Razor 800 to pre-run on the UTV World Championship course, and the tires weren't touching the ground for half the time. Riding the belly the whole time. In fact, one time we had to get out and push.
But yeah, the Peninsula run should be pretty wild. Baja Vita, Baja Jerky's really into this. It's pretty cool to see. They're super fired up about it, and we're still in a position to win the championship. So
yeah,
that's our goal.
That's super cool. Does that mean that the prep starts now?
Prep started on Monday.
Dude, you guys are on it already, right? Let's see here. We got MTZ Santiago said, greeting from the team, Esperuda de Ensenada. We are eager to compete in the Baja 1000. Are there a lot of guys that are already starting to think about doing the Baja 1000 in Class 11, you think?
Yeah, they've already planned it. And those guys are such great competitors. We had a good run with them all of last season at the Peninsula run, so we couldn't ask for better competitors. Everybody in this thing's like everybody's like friends and brothers. When you're in a Class 11, everybody has similar parts, components, steering boxes, and all that stuff. I mean, they loaned us a steering box at the last Baja 500.
Dude, that's so cool. Pete, were those the guys that you were talking about last time we were on the show that you guys were battling with?
Yeah. Well, them and I mean, we're always battling with those guys, and then also the Flamates. That's who won this race. They've been really dominating the last 4 races. Those guys are studs. But the Sarabias, those guys, hats off to them. We've had a lot of good battles with those guys, and there's a lot of good competitors in Class 11. We enjoy racing them all, and it's always all love at the end of the day. We enjoy racing all these guys, and if we can help them, we will, and if they help us, they do, and it's a really cool kind of class to be involved in.
Dude, it totally is, and it keeps growing on me more and more. I don't know, like I went to Crandon a few weeks ago, and the amount of Class 11 dudes that were over there, like that was pretty sick too.
Yeah,
Wow,
we were. I remember. I don't know if it was the bolts they gave us or something. They gave us some steering box components or steering box at the Baja 500, and at the same time, the reason they were there next to us is because they have broke their transmission. And Eric from Baja Jerky was like, "Hey, if you want to borrow our transmission, you could take it." So everybody works together, and then they were helping us replace the steering box on our car.
Dude, that's so sick.
Yeah. Like literally right here, they're our competitor, so it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Hey, Pete, repeat what you just said because we didn't hear you.
Oh, just that, that they were there helping us change that steering box. They were in the motor compartment, literally like doing the work alongside. I mean, it was just cool to have another team like that involved and like wanting you to keep going when they're out,
That is so sick. Hey, I don't know if you heard, but Marc said that we've been helping with some live streaming stuff. I know we have to build a mount, but it would be super cool to put a Starlink on one of the Class 11 cars and see you guys live too.
That'd be sick. That'd be awesome.
Let's talk about it a little bit after the show. All right, boys, we got to get some Terrible Herps guys on the show. But, dude, first and foremost, I say this every time. Congratulations for crossing the damn finish line. That's a feat in itself. But having fun and showcasing the sport is like, I always just applaud you guys for that. So throw some shouts outs, and then we're going to get those guys on.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, obviously, Baja Jerky, Baja Vida, Sletton, Tim's Motors, I know MP does some stuff. Our whole team, man, obviously when you're doing a feat like this, your whole team, everybody is just as important as the next guy. And we have no slackers on our team. You got Ryan, Justin, Chester, Monica, Rudy, Adrian, Edgar, Armando Ventura, Byron. I mean, you name it, these guys. Everybody's a hustler. Everybody puts in their work. Chris at Baja Vida. I mean, he's the main guy over there that makes all this happen. He kind of like turns us loose and says, okay, see if you can make this work. And so we do that. Obviously Monica, she's super integral to helping me with all the logistics. She's basically my right hand, and she takes care of a lot of the stuff. And then also, I got to give Alex at GHA a shout out. I mean, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't even be a team, because he started all this a long time ago with the spec truck and the Class 1. And then this guy is a psycho because he raced Class Trophy Spec, and he's the one who said, hey, let's go race Class 11 after that.
Dude, yeah, so I remember Alex was telling us that, and I was like, dude, you are a psycho, man. What are you thinking?
He's a badass. It doesn't make any sense.
Total badass. All right, Pete, throw your shout out.
Oh, I mean, it's the same ones that he just mentioned. Huge thanks to Baja Jerky, Baja Vida. None of this would be possible without them. And obviously, Tim Sletton runs an amazing program. He's built this bug and his motor. We wouldn't make it through half of this without his motor. And, just super blessed to be a part of this team and grateful to be where we're at. And, Clyde nailed the rest of it. So.
All right, 2 quick questions. So you guys got 15 seconds to answer both of them. Clyde, you go first. How much time do you have left on that motor, or is it going to be a fresh one for the Baja 1000?
Fresh one for sure.
All fresh. All right, Pete. Yeah. What was the best tacos you guys ate down there?
I'm a big Valley tea guy. I like those tacos at Valley. Man. I don't know. I can't find anything better than there.
All right, we'll slide it in there. What was yours, Clyde?
I'm a Trilero guy.
Dude, you guys got it. All right. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate you guys joining us. And let's talk a little bit more about the live stream stuff. We'll connect after.
Cool. For sure. Take care, man. Bye.
Later, guys.
Thank you.
All right, so we're going to get James Dean on. We might even have special guest Brian Moore come on. So, James, go ahead and try to join. Brian, go ahead and try to join as well. Dude, it's so cool to see that everybody is just having such a good time down there. Like, the amount of stress and the like all these guys have said, the amount of, the work that goes into it and teamwork that goes into it is just, it's amazing. And for those guys to have such a smile on their face, whether they cross the finish line or not, it just amazes me. I love it. All right. So we're going to get James Dean on. James, what's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, dude. So we're going to see, I think B. Moore might join us as well. We'll see if he has time. But so far, how did you feel down at the Baja 400?
I'll tell you what, it's a pretty surreal experience, just all the way through it, coming through off-road racing from a big family. My grandfather started racing back in the 60s, and my dad racing, having the name he has and doing what he's done. And, you know, growing up as a kid, we were around all those guys, the Herbsts, the Collins, right, the McMillans, all those big names. So growing up, right, you see a team like the Herbsts, and it's, right, that's like a pinnacle of the sport, you got to realize. And to be even allowed to drive one of their trucks, man, like truly it was a childhood dream come true. And like I said, it was just surreal. It was one of the coolest experiences of my life for sure in racing.
Yeah, it was cool. And what I like to see too is, well, you kind of already gave a little bit of the background on it, but you've done motocross and dirt bikes and different things like that throughout your life. So you're used to driving in the dirt and riding in the dirt. And obviously your father, drives and helps out with Tim Herbst in the number 19 truck, and you got the opportunity to do it for the 400. One of the things that I first noticed was, I haven't really seen you in a trophy truck ever. And I saw you at qualifying, and you took off just like everybody else takes off. You were giving it some pepper, and then there was a little chicane with some, like, I would call them just like whoops, but you did it like a dirt bike guy. You held the throttle and you skipped over it, and you kind of preloaded, and it just floated over this little crest and came down. And I looked at B Moore, and I go, no shit, that dude's ridden dirt bikes. And I had no idea that you had ever done that, because that's the way you drove. And I was like, you can always tell a moto dude.
So it's actually funny to say that. We were never allowed to ride dirt bikes growing up. We had like pilots and banshees and stuff like that, but dirt bikes were never one of those things, unfortunately, which is crazy. Our dad always thought we'd get hurt, and unfortunately, there's just so many guys on dirt bikes. They're cool, and I give mad props to everyone that races dirt bikes. They're one of the toughest dudes out there, but unfortunately, right, you make one or two mistakes, and it's brutal. So we weren't allowed on that, but a lot of it comes from the buggy.
Oh, really?
Our front end is really light. We got all the power in the back. So to keep that front end out of a hole is crucial. So you got to learn where to place it, how to get stuff over it. And I think from there, I just kind of excelled in the buggy. I drove a little hard, so I learned a little bit more than I probably should have. But
what not to do?
Exactly right. But I think a lot of it came from the buggy, trying to keep that front end up in the air. You don't like that buggy kick.
Yeah, actually, so that's actually a really good point. So I guess it was kind of that same style that I was seeing, because with the trophy truck, you obviously have a lot more power. With the buggy, your foot's probably just smashed on the ground, like just trying to get it to go. But you have to use a lot of your front end input to keep the front end off the ground, because that's what it looked like right instantly. Because you're like, burp, 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 and then you just floated over that little crest. It was so sick.
No, that was cool. It was definitely, like I said, one of the cooler qualifyings, but definitely a really tight section. So I felt like for the spec trucks and the four-wheel drives is very beneficial, because with a little bit too much power, sometimes it just takes so much away from it, because you have too much momentum coming in turns.
Yep.
You're slowing down too much, and there's a lot of factors that go into it. But like I said, it was a pretty good run. I think we got 10th, so I was pretty pumped with that.
Yeah, well, how did you actually feel behind the wheel then? So was that your first time driving a TT?
So Tuesday was actually the first time ever driving a trophy truck, and the Herbsts were generous and let me take the truck out for 30 miles. I got to drive from Ojos to K77, and I got to learn quite a bit right there, but wasn't fully comfortable yet, because there's so much faster than anything I've really driven. Over 100, like, it's just still pulling. There's so much power there. The paddle shifts, it's a 5-speed in that truck now, so it's very spurty, on the move, ready to go. And a lot of power. It'll break those wheels loose at 100 mile an hour. So
I noticed a couple things, because we got to see a little bit of the live footage that we had in your truck. I noticed a couple things, like maybe this is kind of the thing you're talking about with the buggy. During qualifying, you pushed the front end a few times. Like, you were like, oh shit, this takes a little bit longer to slow down. And so I don't want to say you missed it, because you didn't actually miss the corners, but you overshot them a little bit and had to overcorrect and come back in. So that's probably where the learning curve was. You just had to learn split second.
Yeah, 100%. That's where in the trucks, they're very tough coming from a buggy, because our buggies can turn so well. We have a cutting brake. So if it's a really tight corner, we just grab it, where the trucks have a locker, and it's a little tough to figure out at first. Still trying to learn it. Just because, like I said, you got to fully pitch it. Right now, I'm more comfortable just getting the truck sideways with the throttle and go from there.
Do you feel like you got a pretty good grasp on it since you got to put in a few miles?
Oh, yeah. Qualifying, it wasn't like I didn't have the confidence I usually have going into it. But then race day, we were a lot more calm. Being able to, we had a couple lucky breaks, and we were able to just go from every time we got around someone, we would just drive to the next truck. And that confidence from being able to know that the pace is there and that there's a lot more in the tank was really cool.
Yeah, well, and you say you got a little bit more confidence, but I'm going to go ahead and say that you got a lot more confidence because you were sending it pretty hard, dude. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool to see. So for anybody that didn't actually get to see it on Instagram, I think this has gone viral already for the off-road community. But how was it sending a trophy truck that far? Was that a mistake, or were you just like, dude, I got a chance, I'm going?
So, I mean, in off-road racing, right, the whole thing, you got to have some fun. You got to go out there, and there's a lot of pressure once you get into these big trucks, especially with the Hertz. You got that live stream, so it's like you got everyone watching, and the speed difference I wasn't used to. So we came in, I wanted to jump it, and halfway through the air, me and my co-driver are like, okay, that was way too fast. Way too fast.
You're sitting in the air holding on to the steering wheel going, oh, man.
100%. My co-rider's sitting there. I was like, Shane, that was fast. And he goes, I don't think we're falling yet. And it just felt like forever in the air.
Well, I guess, okay, so let's talk about the buggy comparison. You couldn't have felt that good landing in a buggy.
No, the buggy would have been a lot rougher of a landing for sure. The truck on those Kings, man, it ate it up. Like, it was very forgiving, landed smooth. It was awesome.
Dude,
awesome.
I
really pumped after.
I can only imagine how cool it was. And then you probably, I don't know how it was because you booked it after that. You were just hammered down after that. But could you see anybody on the sidelines going, yeah? Because, I mean, obviously we saw it on the videos.
Oh, yeah. We came around the next turn and everyone's sitting there screaming, phones are out to hit the next jump. And, you could hear it from in the truck. It was, like I said, it's a real experience. It was pretty cool.
Dude,
really
that's
cool.
so sick, man. The showstopper. Has anybody said, like, trying to give you a new nickname, like Sender or anything yet?
No, nothing like that. Be more starting to call it James's jump, but besides that, and like I said, it was fun, really cool, pumped.
Yeah, you should be pumped because having opportunities like that don't come very often, right? And to have an opportunity like that and take advantage of it and also perform at a high level is very, very good. Like, you should really pat yourself on the back, first of all, but you should also, like, understand, like, how cool it is. Like, all of us, myself included, if I ever had the opportunity, treat it the same way as you. Just be humble about it and just go as, like, good as I can and have a bunch of fun. Bella Bouchard jumped on at the beginning of the show, and she asked Bryce and Oren what the most difficult portion of their race was. Do you have a difficult portion of the race?
I'll be honest, there's a tight technical section after K77 before Valley T. Kind of knew we beat it in pre-running and everything, and I'm still getting used to the truck, so seeing over the hood and making those super tight corners with the front end pushing, I really struggled in that. That's definitely something I'm going to want to work on and try to be able to improve in. But, I mean, really it was just a big confidence booster. Like I said, we would go every time we got around someone, we just drove to the next person, and I was able to figure out, just be able to keep myself calm and slow down and don't push through dust, don't take chances. And like I said, no one comes from behind. So
yeah,
really, like getting in that spot and being there. We've been there in the buggy a couple times, my brother and I. But States racing and Mexico racing is so different.
Way different, yeah.
And most of your big names, like you said, you got Bryce, you got Luke, Dan, Rob, McCaffrey, Andy McMillan. You got a lot of big names down in Mexico, and Prudia, Vidosla. So to go down there and know you can kind of run that pace in the same category was really a huge confidence builder. And like I said, such a surreal experience, the whole thing. And you got to thank the Herbs for even, like I said, allowing me to be a part of it.
So I'm going to ask you another question following this, but Off-Road Pit Biatch said, we can make one for you, and that's a nickname, Grasshopper. I think he sent it way harder than Grasshopper. I think Rocket Man would be something cool. But yeah, so having that opportunity, have you guys to have a debrief with any of the guys on the team, like Todd or Ryan or anybody, and talk to them about how your experience was or what their experience was with you being behind the wheel?
Yeah, we talked about it after the race, and on my end, like I said, my job was to make sure to get the truck to Tim, so we didn't take any chances, we didn't push, and even qualifying with the data that they pull off the trucks, it's getting tough coming from buggies. We have no really electronics, so you can't tell as much, and you can't lie as much either, so you got to make sure you're on it. but they said that, like I said, it was really, really cool. Todd and them were all pumped. The whole crew, Damien works on the truck. He put together an amazing truck, and we had 0 issues. They said our qualifying run was flawless on the computer data, no missed shifts, nothing. I'm still trying to get to talk to Todd. Been busy with work and everything since I've been back, and see how the data looks from there. But they were all pumped, super, super happy. Tires came off at like 80% tread. So, like I said, there was a lot of high ends on my side. And unfortunately, Tim just has a lot of bad luck sometimes, and I feel terrible for the guy because he needs to. I wanted him to win so bad, and I thought we could have been close. And it's Mexico; you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, we were talking about that with the boys earlier too. It is kind of crazy, man. But yeah, you should pat yourself on the back, like I said, because it's cool that you were able to do all that stuff. Do you have any plans on getting back in the truck? Because Willem just commented in looking forward to the 1,000. I don't know if that meant you or he was just looking forward to going down there.
Yeah. So Will was one of the pit guys. He's awesome. Love him. But yeah, so I've been teamed up with them. Our plan was to do the 1,000 with them all year.
Cool.
So it's really worked out to get some seat time and some experience in the truck before we went there. Not sure what section I'll be doing. Once the boss man Tim figures out who's doing what, and Troy, they can figure out who's going to do what. But it'll be Tim Herbst, my dad, and I in the Trophy Truck 19 at the 1,000. So super excited and can't wait for that.
That's going to be pretty cool, man. And that, like I said, those opportunities don't just come up. They're pretty cool, and that's a lot of what do you call it? Level of respect that the whole team and the drivers and stuff, because they don't just let anybody come in there and do that stuff, right?
No. Like you said, once you go onto the Herbst team or any team like that, for that matter, the pressure that gets put on you is just so much more. Like I've never felt so much pressure coming on. Look at this guy going into a truck or a vehicle at all. And I told him that I was like, I feel like this is a ton of pressure, and I'm really hoping I could just help out and perform and do my duty.
Yeah, you got a lot to live up to. Hey, B Moore, what's up, dude? How are you?
What's up? Sorry, dude. Phone call.
What's up, B Moore?
How are you, buddy?
Hey,
good. How you doing?
So it was funny.
Living the dream.
James, when we were doing the live stream, I was obviously not in the helicopter watching you. We were helping produce it. But it was funny because I get a message on the text broadcast that we were doing, and B Moore goes, dude, he just hit a jump so huge, and we hadn't seen it or anything. B Moore, how was it seeing that thing in the air when he just?
It was funny because like we were, that section. I remembered it from the 500. And I'm like, obviously everyone's like normally kind of rolls over it. And, corner monitor, obviously I'm looking at a monitor and kind of trying to like, hey, is this working? Is this working? Is this working? And all of a sudden I just see like literally through the window of the helicopter, I seen you jump up and I look at my screen. I was like, oh my God. And it was dude, from the air. I actually went back and looked at it. It's so big. So big. Yeah. That's the official James jump, dude. I'm telling you, it's been named. Like that was sick. It's crazy. Like I tell you, dude, we were talking about George is like, dude, no one, it's like, who cares who wins, dude? It's all who's the biggest jump off the dike for Battle Prim. No one cares who wins. We're talking about who wins the biggest. So I think that works with that too as well.
I think what we should do is you sent me a couple videos and I just played them for the audience and stuff, but I think we should try to see if we can get a good picture of it, and then or maybe we just even use one of those reels and see if we could submit something on the Dirt Life or the Terrible Herps Motorsports Instagram account and see if we can come up with a nickname. People submit nicknames for it, like Rocket Man or Big Sender or whatever.
Not bad for a guy that with no truck time, big buggy dork time, and just goes to the moon.
You got to impress him somehow,
dude. I think you got it, dude. It's impressive. It's it's funny that just the Dean family just got all the talent.
Save some for us, James.
I know, right?
Well, you got to say from my brother on top of it, man.
Well, he was with me last night. We were talking about it. Poor guy. But I was like, man, here's the downside of live stream, dude. It's like now it's stuck on the internet forever now.
Oh yeah.
So it's fine. It's just yeah, poor guy.
Well, we just talked with like Marc Burnett, and he was like, dude, that's Baja. Like, there's nothing else that you can say. I know that's
Baja, dude. That's the thing. I mean, there's so many things that happen. Like in that instance, like it sucks that happened. But at the moment, like it's in the moment, right? Like you're in such tunnel vision. Like, hey, how can I do this and that, whatever. you know, it's funny. I was talking to your brother about it. Actually, he was like, "Man, I almost had it out with walking the Jackson, the truck almost out of that hole." And it's like, man, if it would just have been like another 2 minutes, it's like probably could have got it out without having to trying to get told. I was like, oh,
Yeah. No, my heart goes out for man. He was so close. He killed it. He did such a good job.
Yeah, and that dude, it's awesome. Like I said, and at the end of the day, I think, you know, for them racing for the 1,000, they're probably happier in that position anyway. So
yeah. Totally. Hey, we got some comments that come in. Let's see here. Logster337 said, I love the Diener boys. Let's see. Dean Porter said, Be More is beautiful. Wes Leffler said, oh, he's throwing in a nickname. James the Jet Dean.
Ooh.
Dude, I think this could be good. I think we should throw a poll together, Be More. I don't know if you want to put in that much effort on the social media side of things, but you probably get a few names in there.
Oh, man, let's do it.
It's got to be clip of the year, right? Dude, there was a lot of clips, though.
Yeah, no, it was fun. I mean, dude, the coast, we finally got the coast section. Dude, it's like that hole down there, it's so pretty. Like, and just, that's the thing. I mean, people like what we're trying to show, the live side, dude. Like, I mean, people get to race down the beach, and, you know, I mean, the fact that I think we're getting closer, right? Like, putting in the perspective, people are like, oh, you should be doing this, you should be doing this. You know, it's like, I don't think they really realize we're just testing. Like, I think there's so much opportunity and capability, but we're just like, we're going for reliability, you know?
Yeah.
So,
we had a lot of reliability, though. One of the UTVs that was racing, I think it took them about 12 and a half hours to complete the whole race, and they only had, I think, 3 or 4 minutes of downtime, so it was pretty much 99%.
Yeah, and obviously, like, on our end, dude, I mean, 150 miles an hour, still getting 100 megs down, like.
Yeah, did you hear that, James? They were going 150 in the helicopter, and he was still getting super good Starlink speed.
That's crazy. I'll tell you, the live feed has got to be the coolest thing ever. We got out, and we were following Tim going up to Ojos and watching the coast live. Like, that has got to be the coolest thing in off-road racing.
You know, people don't know, but we were obviously, you know, that wasn't supposed to be supposed to be public at all. You know, we had the discussion, said, hey, look, if it works, you know, because qualifying day, we obviously had some issues that we had worked around, and me and George just trying to figure it out, and then obviously realizing, like, you know, hey, someone puts carbon wrap on one of the dishes, and that, I mean, it's crazy that we can now, like, the algorithm, like how you can see the algorithm, what the dishes are doing and the information we're getting, we can adjust. And so had we not have that information now, obviously we would have never known that there was carbon in this wrap, and we're getting signal loss and this and that. So it's, you know, I know, like, for us on the terrible side, we're just, I think it's amazing to be with a group of people that are willing to innovate and spend the money to, you know, try to move this forward. They see it, we see it. I mean, we're very passionate about it. So, you know, how do we get this sport to the next phase where it's just not, you know, it's just really a hobby sport, right? So, you know, do I think it's TV? No, I think TV is stupid. I think it's like, how do you put a 12-hour race in a 1 hour or 45-minute, you know, show with commercials? You can't. And so, in my opinion, you know, with the live, obviously you're watching what it is, and, you know, I think that can be done.
Well, you're in it, like, you're literally in it.
I mean, it's like you said, like, if, you know, like, truck rolls over, that's like minus if we smash the Starlink off, but, like, you know, if you can be in that moment, you can be in. And again, we haven't even done the full capabilities, right? We're just trying to get reliability, and then you can really start implementing, you know, all these other things that we're talking about. Whether, I mean, like, you know, having something like building, whether an internal app, so you can talk to the driver while they're, you know, in a speed zone, or, you know, obviously, like,
I don't know about that.
That's total, dude. Like, I think the sky's the limit with data and all that stuff. It's just a matter of, you know, reliability, and I think every race gets better. We learn more every time. And, you know, it's you know, it's just, that's it. I actually see the comment about the fact that it's not coming within the industry. You know, that's a funny thing you mentioned that. I'll keep that to myself. But yeah, it's you know, yeah, it takes people like the Herps and the Menzies and people like that are willing, because they're so passionate about it and they love the sport so much, that they're willing to invest their own money to make it better.
Yeah, There's all kinds of stuff that comes into play too. Well, and people like you too, Be More, and the guys that work with us. Like everybody has got a little part of it, right? But yeah, like tracking is great now with that stuff. Like we even have a multiplayer that you can actually select all of the live stream cameras. So if the organizations ever wanted it, then we could just have. You could pick your dirt bike, you could pick, you could pick your side by side, or you could pick a trophy truck. You could pick a 6100 truck, and you could watch everybody.
Maybe maybe the organizations will maybe start taking us a little seriously soon instead of trying to.
Oh, dude, you know what we should do? Be More. Since we got to find the clip because we saved all of the footage, James, and I wonder if we could get the footage of you in the cab coming up to the jump because nobody's got that.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah,
dude, that would be sick if we could find that.
I didn't even think about that.
All you're gonna see is a hood and sky, and just like
that's it. That's it.
Good.
What was the view? What was the viewpoint for you and Shane?
Sky in the hood, like literally, there was nothing else, and the feeling like you just went weightless. It was crazy.
Like, hey, are we? Yeah. What? Like, how many? Like, was it like, hey, we're still in the air? I'm in the air right now.
Oh yeah, it was full Ricky Bobby. Like, yep, I'm in the air, not good.
Dude, that's hilarious. Shane was probably sitting there just with his eyes peeled open, not even blinking.
Oh, he's crazy. He just sits there and smiles and giggles and laughs. We land, he's like, "That was awesome," and I'm like, "That was way too fast, Shane."
Yeah,
I just love the fact that you thought you were going like that thing is so fast. You didn't think you were going that fast. Like that's
100%.
Oh, it's actually impressive to see the acceleration on that stuff.
It felt slower, like when you were going up. You're like, oh, this is good.
Oh, it felt like probably 50, maybe 55. We were probably doing like 80. Like it was way too fast. Way too fast.
Dude, that's so badass, though. So what was your guys' favorite things about going down to Mexico this trip?
I mean, it's every Mexico trip. If you want to know the truth, going down there and spending time with your friends and such great people like the Herb crew. They surround themselves with such amazing people. They are amazing people. They'll give you the shirt off their back. They're just so generous and so nice. It's hard not to have a good time when you're surrounded by people like that. And I love racing. So being able to pre-run every day and do it with my friends, right? I got my brother down there. We got our friend, Shane, longtime friend. Our guys, Pete Avalar, that chased us and love just going down there to be with us. And for me, that's the biggest thing with off-road racing. We're family. And it's tough seeing nowadays, right? Teams got a little more competitive. No one's right. Growing up, everyone was family. It didn't matter who you raced for, what you did. It was a family. And I miss that part of this sport because I feel like it brought us all together. And that's the best part about it, right? At the end of the day, I want to be able to go out and hang out with Bryce or hang out with Luke, hang out with all these guys and just talk about how the day was, right? All the fun sections like the jump or, man, I lost two-wheel drive like Bryce did. Like, right, he lost his front-wheel drive. Those are the stories or for instance, even my brother, right? Like my heart goes out to him. But for that to happen, right? 3 races from now, right? We're gonna be laughing about it. And what a long night it was to get him out, and the people that came there to get him, right? It's just off-road racing is such a family sport, and you really can't beat it in my eyes. I think that's what makes it the most addicting thing out there. I tell everyone racing's worse than drugs because it takes your life.
It's different.
It's worth it.
Yeah, 100%. I think off-road is something like the experience of it, right? Like the fact that and that's my biggest thing. Like, we have a bunch of stuff we're doing internally at Terribles that, we know to do well in the in the internal space, right? We're doing some stuff we're shooting right now. And it's like, but how do we show it and get people that don't really live it to understand? Like how do you market to someone who doesn't really, they may be an off-roader, but they don't really understand trophy truck racing or whatever. And that's what we're trying to do right now is like, I want to, I know I can make something that the market will, that the off-road market will like. That's easy. It's how do I get the, some Jeep guy or whatever that, is kind of whatever, is like a mud ball guy, but he's going to see this thing and, it's like, holy crap, this is, I'm into this, so 100%. It's, my whole goal is to, grow and reach to the market where it hasn't been, right? Like we're into a point now where
100%.
I think it's growing. I mean, look at the truck counts are good. If we could get the organizations to get their shit together, that'd be great. But it's just a matter of, we're just going to keep doing what we're doing. And hopefully that, we love it enough. We'll do what we're going to do.
Dude, I agree. I support that statement so much. I will say this though. trophy trucks are more expensive than drugs, so the addiction might be flawed.
So it might be more expensive, but I don't feel like you're going down to the streets in a trophy truck.
That's true. All right, boys. I got to get going. I got to shut down the shop here. But so just give a shout out to some of the stuff that you experienced over the weekend and people that helped you.
Like I said, I got to thank the whole Hertz team for giving me such a awesome truck to be able to do what I can do, and for the Hertz for giving me this opportunity to step up and be able to race with them. I've raced with them for a couple races now. In every race, right? It's just childhood dream come true. It really is. So to be able to spend time with people like that, with you, with Brian Moore, right? I don't know how much more thankful and grateful I can be for being able to be a part of it. And I got to thank my wife for just putting up with all the time I put off. I do all the prep on our own car. So before my dad bailed, I was almost 24 hours for the whole week between our sign shop and getting my pre-runner ready to go down there. And they put up with a lot. I got my 3-year-old daughter she puts up with. And so like I said, I got to thank everyone that's surrounded me, my dad and mom for even helping me out all these years and getting me places, and my grandpa for everything he's done, teaching me how to drive and give me the opportunities.
Dude, Grandpa's always the one with the shout outs to drive. Hey, what's your daughter's name?
Emma.
All right, big shout out to Emma, Brian. Big shout out to Emma. Yeah, it is just cool to see the teamwork.
No, for sure. I mean, that's darn all right, man. I feel like in such a good place now. He's saying and that's the thing. Like, dude, the things like I still feel so fortunate to be surrounded like in this space now, just positivity. And I mean, dude, like, me and you working together and this team, and I think it's just a common goal, dude. And that's the biggest thing. Like, there's no, we just there's no tunnel vision. It's like the sky's the limit, and how do we get to that point? And it's just, I think that's what I like. I just love being here. It's been. I'm able to open my wings, and I have so much going on. I'm definitely the busiest I've ever been now, which is a blessing.
Yep.
I'm literally, dude. I had, James's brother with me last night till 10 o'clock wrapping a car so I can blow the tires off it tomorrow for a commercial. So,
but that's what it's here. Hi, Emma.
Hi. My name is Emma Pikey.
So yeah, I just, I'm missing tacos right now. That taco spot we hit, by the way, was, oh my God.
Dude, it was pretty fire. And Josh
good.
Metzger just commented in that says 3 hot dogs right there, but I would rather just change it to 3 tacos because Brian and I ate a lot of tacos, dude.
Dude, I had a lot of tacos. That was so good.
So James, check this out. So we go to this new taco spot. I think it's called Los Antojitos or something. And we roll up and Brian's like, dude, I'm pretty hungry. And I'm like, I'm going to get 3 tacos. How many you want? He's like, I'll take 3 too. And then I roll up there and I start ordering. And he goes, I'll take 3 carne asada and 3 pastor. I'm like, damn.
That's right.
Hey, he didn't say how many. He just said 3.
Yeah.
Hey.
3 of each is what he meant.
I'll burn it off in the gym.
Oh, man. All right. So bring Emma back real quick. We got to ask her a question.
Emma.
She's like, I'm out.
She's out.
Yeah, she's out. All right. Well, thank you guys very much for coming on the show. I want to throw out a little bit of shout outs too. Thank you to all of you guys for everything that you guys do, because I do think that there is a massive increase that we can have in off-road in the sport. And I think that it's really cool that you guys are willing to share your lives and share your work to be able to do it. So obviously there's a bunch of other people that help with the whole situation, but thank you guys very much.
No, thanks for having us.
Much love, buddy.
All right, boys. We'll see you guys later.
See you guys.
All right, so as the guys exit the show, we're going to just give you guys a couple reminders. You guys can go and check us out on Facebook, YouTube, and obviously Instagram. And, man, if you're even sitting in the car, go hit up iTunes, Google, Spotify, all those. Bye, Emma. And check us out or listen to us as you're driving to the next race or when you're in the car going to work or whatever it is. Thank you very much to all of our sponsors, KMC Wheels, Maxxis Tires, Motul Oils, Shock Therapy, JL Audio, Evolution Power Sports, Zollinger Racing Products, and Vision Canopies. If you guys want any help or advice from any of those companies for putting products on your vehicle, shoot us a message, Dirt Life. We have a show. We're going to do a show with Pro Eagle for an event that they have called Ride and Seek. And I think that's going to be this year out at Johnson Valley. So we're going to have a show with those guys on Monday. So come and check it out with us. And this week we will be, this Friday and Saturday, we'll be at the Silver State 300. So come say hi. We'll see you guys on Monday. Peace.
Thanks for listening to The Dirt Life Show. See you next week.